Hello, my name is Matt Stark, and I am your student's political science teacher at Heron High School. Thanks for tuning in. This video I'm going to share a little bit about myself, my goals for the class, what your student is going to study this year in political science. This is my 6th year at Heron High School. I've taught political science all 5 years, other 5 years there. This is my 14th year teaching overall. I've had most of your students in economics last year, so I already know them. They know me, my sense of humor, my dad jokes, all of that. So as I told them, it's really nice to have a group of students that I know, we're comfortable with each other, and so I really value that with having your students again this semester. I'm really glad they chose to take my class. So one of my main goals for this class is not necessarily just to teach them about political science, which they will learn. They'll learn about starting with what is political science, where do they get their political knowledge, what are the types of political knowledge, what are different ways that people act on their political knowledge, and what are some different other countries' options, how do other countries differ in the options for their citizens to act on their political knowledge and beliefs. But we also talk about being wise consumers of political information. Because your students are facing challenges that really no other generation has, in that they have more information at their fingertips than ever before. And that is a blessing in many ways, but it also requires a wise stewardship of it. To use sort of the food metaphor, being able to identify the junk food from the more nutritious food to consume and to let nourish your brain. And so we talk about different sources of where students get their political knowledge, from authorities, from their own personal thought, from family structures, from media, and the pros and cons of each one of those. I tell my students right away that it's not my job to tell them what I believe about political issues. It's up to them to consume the information and come up with well-reasoned, evidence-based opinions. Whenever we come to a topic that there's different stances on it, I do my best to present every side as fairly represented as I possibly can, and allow students to come up with their own opinions. Students will learn about other countries' political beliefs, political systems, different ways that citizens there can interact with their government. They'll write a paper where they have to research a country other than the United States and research what are the different avenues for citizens to participate in the government, what are some of the restrictions that they have. And we also talk a little more about international. Students have American government, but then this class we try to go outside of the borders. How do other nations approach political knowledge and political actions, and how they interact with each other? International affairs is a big topic we talk about, especially in the second quarter of the class. It's a semester class overall. So students will learn about different ways that nations interact through international law, through organizations such as the United Nations, NATO, the World Bank, other non-governmental organizations, and times in which nations interacted well with each other and times when they didn't, and what are some lessons we can learn from that. So at the end of the day, I'll consider the class a success, not so much if your student can tell me the ins and outs of the UN or of the Rwandan genocide, or of different facets of international law, but if they can feel more comfortable sifting through all the information they come across and feeling more comfortable in digesting it and knowing confidently how to act on that information. And so that is my overall goal for the class. So students will be doing a little bit of everything. We do a lot of articles because political science is a current events topic. New things are happening literally every day. And so we will oftentimes look at very current events that are happening. Students will be having some structured discussions or even some debates, some group research assignments as well. We'll be watching a few short documentaries from that sort of give good perspectives on different topics as well. And your student can be successful by being organized, by keeping up on my Google Classroom page, which you have access to as well as the PowerSchool gradebook, looking at what's ahead, what to do, submitting their assignments online if possible. I have been copying off hard copies for the first couple weeks, but hopefully transition more to pretty much digital except for exams and assessments. And also participating in class, asking questions, giving comments, concerns, bringing what they saw on the news last night or what they heard from a friend or something they saw on a podcast and wanting to discuss that. Those are ways that really we sharpen our analytical skills, and we really learn how to digest that information that we come across. My email is mstark@heronhighschool.org. Feel free to email me anytime if you have any concerns or questions. I've thoroughly enjoyed having your student already, all of my students already in political science, and I'm looking forward to a great semester. So thank you for listening and have a great evening.